today is the day I want to go through this engine and kind of get all of my engine parts ordered and see what all I'm going to need. I'm going to want to get these belts. I want to check the thermostats. I'm going to want to pull this off. I want to see the inside of here to kind of see what I'm looking as far as buildup in the cooling system. I need fuel filters. I need oil filters. I need to pull the spark plugs out, check the spark plugs. I want to pull the outdrive off the back to kind of see what I'm looking at as far as maybe my gimbal bearing, impeller, all that kind of stuff. Control cables, all that looks pretty good. I don't think I need much there. Risers are looking good. The manifolds aren't looking terrible, but yeah, I want to just tear in here and kind of see what all I'm looking at. This kind of looks like I could probably need a gasket there. That looks like water, so that gasket might be leaking. So yeah, we're just going to tear into this engine. I need to undo this. I want to check the fuel that's in the fuel tank. That way I might have to pump it out if it's ethanol fuel. It's been sitting for like 4 years. Check the oil. I'm going to need to order oil. I'm going to need to order, trying to think what else. Definitely these belts. These belts are done. Pretty toasty, that one right there. See it cracked and dry rotted. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to get a list of all the stuff that I need, go over the engine and see what's going on here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this here off and take a look in here, see what that is looking like, to kind of see, you know, got a lot of cooling water and stuff that's going through here. Sorry to take you away from the engine, but I wanted to let you know that right now you can save 10% at wholesalemarine.com if you use the code BAB10. Use the links in the description below. Virtually everything that we're getting around this engine, all the thermostats, spark plugs, all this stuff we're going to be getting from wholesalemarine.com. They make it super easy to get all of the engine parts that you could need. Make sure you use that 10% off discount code BAB10 when you check out, and use the links in the description below. Now back to checking out this engine and avoiding the #1 mistake that I made on this boat. So it doesn't look terrible. There is a bunch of rust and stuff inside of these hoses, and then this also not looking the hottest. A lot of rust inside all here, so not a ton of buildup. But what I want to do, I think I'm going to go ahead and do some red lime on this. So I'm going to get some red lime coming, and that way I can kind of I'm gonna run red lime through this. I don't know how I'm gonna run it just yet because of the intake and the output. Maybe I can put a hose, like I can get a T-fitting, put it into one of these hoses, and then figure out a way to flush this. I wonder how I can get it to go without going out the exhaust and like be able to circulate through this engine for a good amount of time. That's the one thing I got to figure out. Once I figure out how to do that, we're going to do that, because that should clean up a lot of this, at least the inside of here, not the outside. But on this one, I'm going to need a thermostat. Obviously someone says they've changed the thermostat, and they clearly haven't for quite a long time. Does not look the greatest in there. So I need to get the gaskets for this, gasket for this. These hoses are all looking pretty good, but I'll get these gaskets, get a thermostat, fuel filter, oil filter. Now this all is looking pretty good. My distribution, that looks pretty good. I'm not sure what this nipple on the side right here is. I don't know what that nipple is. I don't have a ton of experience with inboards. Trying to see anything that I see like this. This looks like a temperature sensor. It's like a blue tan with a blue stripe. There's another one over here. This is going to be my block water temp. So there's got to be another temp sensor on here that was taken off. It's just GM engine, but again, I don't know a ton about this stuff, so I don't know. This breather hose is going on there. Yeah, So that's what's going on there. I think everything else looks pretty good. This right here, all these, I need to get those kind of back into this little clip thing there, but for the most part, I don't see a ton wrong with the engine. I mean, just old. It's a very old engine, 1990, talking 35 years old. So thermostat, gaskets. Let me go ahead and pull a spark plug out, make sure I know what spark plugs to get. I want to take a look at those, see what they look like. And I said I was going to do the spark plugs, but I got the thermostat out. This thing was a pain to get out of there. I need to clean that thing up. Probably come in here and kind of clean this up the best I can. Thermostat doesn't look terrible, doesn't look that great. 71 degrees Celsius, 160 degrees Fahrenheit thermostat. So I'm gonna get me a new thermostat. Now let me go ahead and check these spark plugs. Okay, I think I'm just getting things dirtier with all this here. I'm going to take this screw and that screw out. That way I can pull these panels out, give me more access to the back of this, make things easier so I can move this hose here to get to that last spark plug. I got the other ones out. I think I might have a little bit of a concern here. That is like completely red, whereas the other ones are not. The other ones look okay. Not too bad, but on both sides, this is going to be number 6, or no, this is going to be number 5, this is number 6, and both of them are this red color. This one a little bit more. I mean, that is like, I'm not sure yet on what's going on there. I'm probably going to do a little bit of investigation. But let me get these out of the way so that way I can get to that last spark plug to really check this thing out. And then also down here, I might have an issue there. So you notice the water drips, this right here, this might be cracked. I don't know how I missed that when I was looking at it, because I looked at all these under here, but yeah, that might be a concern. So I might need manifolds. I would buy some aftermarket ones, maybe even try and weld that. I don't know yet. We're gonna get there, but let me get this out of the way so I can get down there to that plug. Okay, so got my spark plugs out, and I have a little bit of a concern with this. You see how red that is? That means that is getting hot, along with this one. This one as well is red and getting hot. The rest of them are pretty good, not really getting hot, burning normal. So kind of have a little bit of a concern with number 5 and number, what would this be? This would be 6. So kind of a little bit of a concern. And then also, what I did too, whenever you do these, label the spark plug wires, that way they go back where the way they were. They are labeled up here on top of the cap, but I mean, just makes it easier doing that. But I did mess up because I checked for cracks all along the block, and I missed one. Somehow, I missed this crack on the manifold. I mean, I looked at the rest of the block, I checked the oil, we ran the engine for like 15 minutes, and I had no oil anywhere, or no water in the oil, no leaks anywhere. Everything's running smooth, so I don't know how I missed that. That's the number one mistake that you'd make buying a used boat like this, is missing a crack in the block. But if I had a crack in the block, it would also I would have water in the oil, and I don't. So that was like something that I made sure of. But somehow I missed the So after 15 minutes of running, we got no water in here. But I missed that crack in the manifold there, so that's something, number one mistake that you can make buying a used inboard like this. But I need gaskets, I'm gonna need some manifolds, thermostat, spark plugs, oil filter, fuel filter, the belts, and that'll be pretty much it for up here. I can clean all this up. Now I need to go down there and take that drive off so I can check the gimbal bearing. This this shift cable here, I was told that you look for an adjustment on it, so I pulled this. This is the cable. This goes up to my control box. This goes up to the control box. That's the throttle. This is the shift. This is the shift assist assembly, and this cable here that goes down goes out to the drive fails quite often, or the first one to fail, I guess is the way he said it. And I pulled that off. This has an adjustment. The old ones don't have an adjustment, so this has been changed at some point in time. So my cable's good, but now I need to pull my drive off. Pretty sure for these you got to put them in forward in order to take them off. That was nice and smooth when I shifted it. So I'm gonna go ahead, and now that I got it in forward, I'm gonna go down to the back and pull this drive off of here. I need to put a battery in the boat. That way I can pull this drive. I can trim it down. I'm gonna need to lower the tongue to get the front of the boat down. These caps are gonna come off. These right here, I can just spin those off, so then these will come off. And I got 6 bolts here, so 1, 2, 3, and then there's 3 on the other side, and this whole thing will come off, and then we will be able to get in there and check the gimbal bearing, the bellows, and all that stuff, and then order any kind of parts that we might need. There we go. Now I just need to take these nuts off. These will slide off of here, and then I can take those 6 nuts off and then be able to pull this thing out. I should probably even come down just a little bit more, huh? Well, honestly, this looks really good in here. I mean, lots of grease on this. So somebody has obviously been in here. This got a little bit of stuff there. I could probably put a new O-ring right here, but this is dry. There's no, yeah, look at that, all nice and greased up. This is actually really clean. I'm just gonna clean this up, probably re-grease that bearing. So if I stick my hand in here, I don't know if you can see. That's one finger. That thing's just spinning around real smooth with one finger. So I think I'm good on that. Clean my arm off real quick. Yeah, gimbal bearing, good to go. And honestly, the bellows too. The bellows are looking really good. This is all nice and dry. I don't think I need to take this apart. This though, I'll reseal this, but I don't know, because I kind of want to take this off and paint it. I might take this off and paint this. I'm not 100% sure yet, but at least I got this off. And then also this is all looking really good. So nothing's jamming up here with this. All spinning nice and good. No issues, no binds, nothing there. This is actually much cleaner than I expected it to be, especially this. This whole thing is way cleaner than I thought it was going to be, and I'm pretty excited about that. Still got the trouble with the lower unit here though, where, oh man, this is what's cracked. Not this. I was thinking I could just change this piece out and leave this upper, but I might have to change this upper too, upper and lower, even though this is in really good shape. Maybe I could weld this. I mean, this is not that big of an issue as much as this down here. This whole thing is an issue. This upper's pretty good, so I'll have to make an executive decision on this one, what I'm going to do with that. But for now, I'm just happy about this situation here. I do need to probably take all this apart so I can paint it at least, but at least that gives me a good start. So yeah, this is nice. I'm real happy about this. Now I think I'm gonna scratch some of this paint up and see if I can't do a little inspection. Maybe I could pull this thing off of here and just weld this for the time being before I go and buy new manifolds, new risers. I will wait on that. If I could pull this off and weld that, I'd be smooth sailing and not have to spend that much money right now. So I'm gonna scratch this up a little bit, see how deep this crack is and whether or not I can weld this. Kind of hard to see, it's a little dark. So it doesn't appear to be that bad of a crack. Kind of hard to see it in the camera. I'm gonna take this manifold off there and we're gonna go see what I can do about welding this and not having to buy manifolds right now. But that means that all of this stuff here, all this has to come off of here. These have to come off, this has to get pushed back. These need to come off here so I can pull the risers off of there. That can get pulled off of there. This whole thing's gonna need to come off of there. So I'm gonna just start taking all this stuff off. There's bolts right here that have this thing attached on. So once I get this off, get this off, I'll be able to pull this off. Much easier than I thought it was going to be. I thought it could turn into a pain, but that one actually was pretty easy. I'll probably clean all this up. I'm going to clean up that starter while I'm here. And also, I think I'm going to go ahead and pull these risers off. Because if you look, all that junk right there. I was going to try and just run rid lime through it as is without having to take these off, but I think I'm going to take them off and then clean them with the rid lime outside of the boat. So I'm gonna go ahead and take all this stuff off, get this off. That way I can get the riser out just like I did with this one, and we will clean these up, because that's a Mercury one. That's not a Sierra, so that has not been changed. So yep, we'll get a gasket set for all of it, and you know, once I start cleaning them, if I need to replace them, I'll replace them, but I think I should be able to clean these up. All right, so pretty much I'm done up here for now. I now need to order a bunch of parts. I'm gonna rid line that and that. Then I want to figure out how to rid line this engine without having to take those off, because I want to, this one's gonna look identical to that one. So if I can, I'm gonna rid line that one outside of the boat. I'm gonna do that. This one, while it's hooked up to the boat, I'll figure out how to do this the way I want it to do it. Because this is raw water, it ain't a closed loop. So I'm gonna figure that out. Then I will pull this riser off. We'll be able to see what it looks like, and then we'll see, you know, if I can show you guys a way to clean the inside of this thing cooling without having to take it all apart. All right, so now that I'm actually able to look at this thing, yep, you can see the crack right down on the bottom. I'm gonna take a cutoff wheel actually and just kind of grind a little bit of this off, just that way I can kind of see if I can get this deep enough to be able to weld it, or do I just go ahead and bite the bullet and buy a new one? I mean, the thing is definitely not in that great a shape. If I flip this thing over, you look down here, definitely seen better days, but I am super interested to see what the red lime is going to do with this situation, because I mean, red lime's more for like calcium built. Like, that is rust. That's the big difference in these inboards and these big metal steel blocks and all this stuff. Well, it's not steel, but just rust a lot different than just regular buildup. So let me grind this out and we'll take a look at if this is going to be, if we're going to be able to weld this or not. Now that I've got it ground down, kind of hard to see my crack, so I'm going to see about make it reappear. It didn't. Oh, it does. So there's my crack right there. Just faint hairline crack all the way around there. Very, very difficult to see. Trying to think of a better way to repair this, because now that I can't see it, because I'm going to need to like dig it out some. If I weld it, I'm going to have to dig it out. I wonder how much pressure is in this manifold. I wonder if you could JB weld that. Let me look into this, how much pressure is in this exhaust manifold, and I'll figure out a way to kind of make my crack more visible so we can actually see what we're working with, and see if I can't dig it out a little bit. All right, so this is ChatGPT. I don't know how real this is. I said how much pressure is in a Mercruiser 5-liter 305 engine in the exhaust manifold. It says the exhaust manifold pressure in a Mercruiser 5-liter 305 cubic inch engine or any similar naturally aspirated marine engine is not typically very high, and it varies depending on engine RPM, load, and exhaust system design, wet versus dry, back pressure from riser, etc. Typical exhaust manifold pressure in naturally aspirated Mercruiser 5-liter idle is 0.5 to 1.5 psi, cruise 2500 3500 rpm 1.5 to 3 psi, wide open throttle is at 3 to 5 psi, sometimes a bit more. And then it gives me some other stuff. These pressures are measured before the riser / elbows where exhaust gas is mixed with cooling water and raw water cooled. Too much back pressure over 5 psi can reduce temperature, or can reduce performance and increase engine temperatures, potentially damaging valves or reducing exhaust scavenging. If you're running through hull wet exhaust, riser design and hose routing affect back pressure. Old or restricted elbows can cause pressure to climb. Blah, 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 blah. Want help diagnosing a specific issue or how to measure it? Let me know. Okay, so if this really only has like max of 5 psi, even if it's got 10 psi, I'm going to JB weld this. I'm going to grind all this. I'm going to grind all the way up to here, and I'll just coat that with JB Weld. JB Weld will adhere up to, I mean, 5 psi is like nothing. So I'm going to do that, and we're going to see how this turns out. I might even get a little frisky and paint it black once I get it covered. Got my spot all nice and clean. Got some brake clean here, and I'm going to just clean this off with some brake clean. Once I get it cleaned off with the brake clean, we're going to go ahead and JB Weld it. Should be fine. This is going to be an experimental run. I mean, if I got to buy manifolds, I got to buy manifolds, but if I can get away with some JB Weld, you know I will. So I'm gonna clean this off with the contact cleaner, mix up some weld, and then we'll smother all this whole area with the weld, and we'll see how long that lasts. And there we go, nice and caked on there, looking beautiful. So we're gonna let that sit, and we will be back tomorrow to see what it looks like. I might paint it, maybe not, we'll see. The last thing that I need to do here today is I need to figure out, I need to get a primer bulb, and I'm gonna prime some fuel out of this fuel tank and take a look at what we're looking like as far as the quality goes. Get a primer bulb, stick it on this, suck some fuel out of here, and see what we're looking like as far as the fuel that's in the tank, and whether or not I need to get rid of the fuel that's in there, or if it is enough where I can burn it. Because this being 1990, one of the problems that we have with stuff like this is now that everything is ethanol, especially where I'm at in Illinois, it is E15. So this is designed for non-ethanol, 90 octane, like straight fuel, no ethanol. And now we're doing 15% ethanol. This can run funny. Same thing running it hot. That could be part of the reason with the plugs, as far as like all the debris that's in there making it runner hot, and getting these plugs hot is also the ethanol that's in it. So multiple different factors going on here, but we're gonna get this thing dialed in. So let me pump that out, and then we'll close it out for today. All right, so we can have a little moment of truth here. There we go. Okay, honestly, this does not look too bad. All right, so now that we got a good clean sample of the fuel and we know our fuel's good, that's gonna be it for today's video. We will be back on this tomorrow to move on with another project.